did you put together some facts about your travel plans that day that could have potentially made you a suspect on that trip as well if the murder had happened
Yeah, that Friday I was scheduled to go to a business trip in Gainesville, leaving at 11 a.m. So 2 times in 2014 I leave town on a trip by myself in my car, and both times hitmen are in town trying to kill Danny Markel unsuccessfully, obviously.
Did Wendi Adelson know about the murder ahead of time? Well, Jeff is going to testify today, and he's going to tell you exactly what he thinks about Wendi. And quite honestly, it is not good. It's really bad for her. For this trial, here's what the jury has heard about Jeff so far.
Did you ever tell Jeffrey Lacasse about that joke?
I may have mentioned that joke to Jeff Lacasse.
Who is that?
Jeff Lacasse was someone that I dated after Danny and I got divorced.
And the joke is about the TV thing where Charlie said that he looked into hiring a hitman, but it was cheaper to buy a TV for Wendi as a divorce present.
Had he met your parents?
I think he may have met them once, but not in any kind of formal way. Just my parents were visiting and he might have said hi, something like that.
Did your parents express any opinion about him, whether they liked him or not?
I don't remember them really taking notice of him.
Do you remember sending a text back in May 28th of 2014 that saying, quote, "My parents are not into him," referring to Jeff?
I don't remember sending that text.
Of course they wouldn't be into him.
2014.
So just about a month before the murder?
Yes.
And
So now they're talking about the picture of her and Katie McBanois. Again, she said that she's not close to Katie McBanois and she only knows Katie through Charlie. However, at this beach photo, Charlie's not in it. Charlie wasn't even there. Are you sure you're not friends with Katie? The one that linked up your family to the hitman?
was this the first time you'd ever met Catherine McBanois?
It was the second time. The first time was at a dinner with my brother and with Jeff Lacasse when I was running an alternative spring break. I came down to visit.
Was that the dinner at Yardbird?
Yes.
Okay, we'll get back to that. So this was the second meeting?
Yes.
All right, Judge, move to introduce State's Exhibit 35.
And then I think we have another mention of Jeffrey Lacasse. I think, or was that about it? Jeff. Let's see. Referring to Jeff. The dinner with Jeff. Brother, Jeff. Oh, I think this is the brother's testimony. So not only was Jeff Lacasse getting some weird vibes from the Adelson family, but Rob Adelson was also getting weird vibes about his own family as well. He testified yesterday, and he said that Wendi sent him a picture of her and Jeff and the boys or something like that. And he thought it was just odd because usually Wendi is not very open about her dating life, especially to him. And apparently Wendi had not told the parents about Jeff Lacasse at that time. And he thought that was even more weird because he's like, well, you're a lot closer to the parents than you are to me. Why are you randomly just telling me about this relationship with this guy, Jeff? He thought it was weird. And he went to the FBI and showed them a picture that Wendi sent.
On a 2014 now, did Wendi Adelson send you a text where she referenced having a boyfriend?
Yes.
And was this before Dan Markel's murder?
Yes.
Why was that memorable to you?
It was just unusual. You know, Wendi, never was someone who would, share her, romantic life, her boyfriends, or, tell me or, text me about anyone she was dating. So it just stood out as, unique or different.
After Dan Markel was murdered, you felt, I guess, compelled to tell police, like, hey, I heard she has this boyfriend she hasn't told anybody about named Jeff.
Yes, they, I did, the FBI came to my house and I spoke to them once, and either it didn't come up or, it's a bit nerve-wracking talking to the FBI, and that they didn't ask any questions about that. And then, I guess over the ensuing week, I'd heard about like this Prius and this, this unsolved murder. And I remembered, it struck me as odd that I was sent these photographs of a boyfriend and not to tell the parents about him. And so that's when I wanted to have a clean conscience. So I reached out to the FBI and I said, I don't know if this matters, but I figured I would, tell you about this. And they came back for a second interview and looked at the pictures.
Jeff Lacasse is going to testify again. He has testified in other trials, and he's also had police interviews. Jeff has a lot of inside knowledge of the Adelson family because he dated Wendi starting in September of 2013. So about half a year before Dan Markel was murdered. Now, he knew about the nasty divorce because Wendi would forward him motions that Dan would write over to him, and she would vent about this whole divorce thing.
Did Wendi Adelson want to relocate to South Florida?
Yes, she did, very badly.
And why did she want to relocate to South?
Oh, but remember those emails that she was sending to Renee saying that like, oh, actually, I don't want to locate to South Florida. The opportunities in Tallahassee are great. I love my flexible job. I love being able to spend max amount of time with my kids. See, that's why I think those emails to Renee, I don't think she was telling the truth. I think she was just trying to have it documented somewhere out there.
So conversations with Wendi, which were consistent, and also observing the family dynamic, which was described to police as a family without boundaries, that sort of not having just a shared family life within your own.
Same as to opinion.
All right, so in your observations let's keep it specific to Donna, if you
Yes.
don't mind.
Hey, Jackie, pink looks good on you. I like pink on Jackie.
Was Donna Adelson very involved in her daughter's life?
Yes, absolutely.
Was she very involved in her daughter's divorce litigation? During the time that you were in a relationship with Wendi, did you have the occasion to meet her family?
I did.
When was that?
I met Donna, we met her multiple times, but Wendi had me come over to her house and had me have dinner with Donna in mid-November. So I sat down and had dinner with Donna. There's about 6 or 7 other occasions that we met and or interacted. Me picking up Wendi to go on a date, and the parents would be in the living room. We went to a Hanukkah party together. We went to the circus together.
Circus?
Wendy's parents would use Wendy's van to transport the kids, so I would come pick Wendi up from the house to bring her to work because the parents needed the car. I met Charlie in March when I stayed with him, so that's some of the interaction.
But remember, Wendy's brother testified saying that Wendi had texted him saying that she had a secret boyfriend that the family didn't know about. But Jeff has met the family so many times.
What were your interactions with Donna Adelson like?
Just a few that I recall. Sometimes they were really quick because I was just picking Wendi up. When we had dinner, we talked for maybe 5, 10, maybe 15 minutes, but it was pretty quick, and just getting to know the girl who I'm interested in, her mom, so it's just that kind of thing. She excused herself from the table after like maybe 10, 12 minutes, something like that.
Now, around a couple months later, Charlie meets Jeff Lacasse. Wendi is there. Catherine McBann was there. They're all at a restaurant called Yardbird together in South Florida. And Jeff actually spends time over at Charlie Adelson's house. During this time, Wendi was trying to get to know Katie, he says. Wendi was talking about her book. She was talking about her divorce. And then Katie divulged that she was with a man who was a father of her children that could be very violent and also had a criminal record. Now, when they go over to Charlie's house, they get in a hot tub and Charlie is like all fired up. He's like talking about how he doesn't like Dan. He's trying to be overprotective and stuff like that. But then Charlie also makes some like really weird comments, I think trying to show just what a cool person he is. He's a dental guy. He's wealthy. But at the same time, he also is like so cool that he knows people that are like part of gangs and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. I feel like Charlie's the type of person who just talks a big talk.
During that time, did Charlie Adelson make some comments against Dan Markel?
Yes, he didn't like Danny. That might be understating it. Yeah.
Is that the most you can remember? Was the gist was that he didn't like him?
I'm not downloading that exact quote at this moment. I remember he was fired up. It wasn't just like I don't like Danny. It was maybe an overprotective brother anger sort of vibe to it.
Okay. And did he make some other comment about wrong side of the tracks or something?
Yeah. He's kind of.
Please approach.
Something about the wrong side of the tracks. Now, this is where Jeff is starting to realize that there's some odd behaviors on Wendi's part. And maybe the odd behavior is attributed to the fact that she knows Dan Markel is about to be murdered.
She abruptly canceled our trip for reasons that didn't make much sense.
When was the trip scheduled to happen?
The 11th to the 17th.
All right, so you would have returned home actually the day before the murder
Correct.
occurred. Okay. And did she express concern about not being home in time to pick up the children?
Yeah, the reason she canceled the trip was I'm worried we're going to get
Staying unless there's an exception.
Goes to motive judge.
Overruled.
Don't care if they go on a trip or not. Right, sir. So the reason for not going on the trip?
The reason for not going on the trip was tied up on a couple of things. First of all the stuff going on with Danny was a constant refrain. But given the stuff going on with Danny, she was concerned that she might not be back in time, even though our flight was to land the day before. And it wasn't so odd to me. It wasn't winter. We're going through it. It's like LA to Atlanta to Tallahassee, leaving in the morning. I didn't see any no reason why that would be a problem.
She would have needed to pick up the kids on July 18th, right?
Yes, she knew that then. Their schedules were planned out for like months.
Okay, so you would have returned on the 17th, and she would have been picking up her children from preschool on the 18th.
Yeah, I think 5 p.m. on the 18th, which is why, I mean, I didn't object. I just said, okay, I didn't make a thing out of it, but it didn't make any sense.
And that, just for clarification, that conversation occurred on June 4th.
It did.
Okay, when was the next time you saw her after that?
So I think that goes to, sorry, what was the date that Dan Markel was murdered again? I thought it was it the 14th? I'll get back to this. Give me 1 second.
Coffee shop meeting.
Yeah, so that was mid-afternoon, and in the evening, I had plans to go see her and spend time with her and the kids. And then she had contacted me that she wasn't feeling well, and I should like rush over there, essentially.
Oh, sorry. He was shot on the 18th. Okay, he was shot on the 18th. Ooh, dates getting to me. So he was shot on the 18th. Oh my goodness, Wendy. So they have a trip planned from the 11th to 17th, and she would have picked up the boys on the 18th at 5 p.m. However, she cancels this trip, and he thought it was really weird because it didn't make sense because she would have been back on time to pick up the boys because she would have been back the day before. However, it seems like she was concerned that she wouldn't be making it back on time to pick up the boys. Oh, but there's more. There's a bizarre story with this TV. Wendy apparently forced Jeff and the kids to watch TV on the broken TV. So remember that this TV was used for a code word for the Adelsons to have Dan Markel murdered. Donna used it before, saying the TV is about 5 when she was being blackmailed. And then there's whole talk about how Charlie said that it'll be cheaper to buy a TV than get a hitman for Wendy. And then, Donna Harvey scheduling this TV repair for Wendy during the time of Dan Markel's murder, I guess, to establish maybe an alibi.
That would have been around the week of June 11th to 18th, somewhere in that time period. I went over to Wendy's to spend time with her and the kids, and she asked me to take a look at the television. I turned it on. She said there was a problem with the TV, so I turned it on expecting to see like input 1 flashing, or the kids pushed the wrong button or whatever. And what I'm looking at when I turn it on is a screen that's been partially shattered, that's been struck by an object. So she had a broken TV.
All right, and did she tell you what happened to the TV, how it got into that?
No, she kind of asked me to look into the TV, as if, she didn't know. I looked around. It was impossible to me that the kids would have done it, but I didn't know the better explanation at the time. So I was kind of mystified.
Can they object to that? That's his opinion.
As to what happened. It looked like a human being stood, between 5 and 6 foot, something like that. It stood in front of it and hit it. That's what it looked like. But she was asking me.
Okay, so it was like an
Oh, man. He's saying that Wendy did this. How tall is Wendy again?
impact mark, like a round impact with spider webs.
Exactly. Then the pixels are distorted. Most people have probably seen this. So it's, and it wasn't completely shattered. You could sort of see what was going on the television. But it's not a TV anybody would normally watch.
Okay. All right, so
Maybe the kids had a Nintendo Switch, or a Wii back then, because sometimes like that should be happening, right? You'd be playing, spinning around your controller, and then boop, if you don't put the wrist tie on. But no, they're 3 and 5 years old. How much strength do they really have? Anyone here with kids wanting to try it out?
in that text message, she's saying, that you're a secret boyfriend from the parents. Were you a secret boyfriend from the parents at that time?
It's implausible. No, I don't think so.
In fact, you'd met the parents several times.
Now they're going to go over the secret boyfriend thing again. Jeff is going to say that I've met her family before, so I don't know why she would say that. But Jeff also testifies about how there was a disagreement between him and Wendi on June 29, 2014. So about before Dan Markel was about to be murdered, maybe about like 10 days before or 2 weeks before. And this is because he had suspicions that she was actually seeing another man. And he felt like for the last couple months, she was stringing him along and not breaking up with him. There was an argument that they had where they're driving back from Gainesville to Tallahassee. And he said it was like a really awkward drive back. Also, for the next couple of weeks, he said that they were still, calling each other. There were still video chats with Wendi and the kids. Now, something weird happens where Wendi gets really upset about, the relocation thing and how she was denied relocation. And Jeff was like challenging her because if Wendi relocates to Miami, well, doesn't that mean that a relationship is over? Miami and Tallahassee is about like a 6 to 8 hours drive. So Jeff was really pushing her on, okay, what do you want to do about this relationship? Because, to him, it felt like she was stringing him along. Things were kind of dying, but then she was still meeting up with him. And she was basically just keeping him enough at like distance. She was basically keeping him at like barely close distance just to have him around. So he starts pushing her and he says that Wendi says something really chilling to him.
So I pushed back on Wendi a little bit and said, like, you're going to have to kind of make your peace with this. You're going to have to take some responsibility for this. You're linked to Dan Markel for life. Kind of challenged her a little bit. And she said, well, can I tell you?
I know. Remember, the jury that's here, they're all Tallahassee locals, okay? Or locals, but yeah, they're all living there. And so far, we've heard that Charlie said Tallahassee is a shithole, how much Wendi hates Tallahassee, how much Donna hates Tallahassee.
Tell you something confidentially. And I said, sure. And she said, last summer,
Same ruling remains. The objection is overruled. You may continue with your answer.
she
Can
said,
I tell you something in confidence?
yeah, can I tell you something? After I challenge her, can I tell you something in confidence? Sure. Well, last summer, my brother looked into all options possible to take care of the Denny Markel problem, including hiring a hitman, and it would cost about $15,000.
Okay, and when she referred to her brother, she's got two of those, right?
She said Charlie.
Okay. And when she said Charlie looked into hiring a hitman, are you familiar with Charlie's joke? I looked into hiring a hitman, but got you a TV as a divorce present because it was cheaper.
Yeah, Wendi had told me that joke a couple of times. This was not that joke.
Okay, so this was something different.
Yeah, the joke was said with levity. It's a dark joke, but this I found chilling. I found disturbing. It made my stomach flip. It kind of took me aback. It was, she was dead serious when she
Okay.
said this. And she'd asked to tell me in confidence, which you don't do before you tell a joke.
Right.
So I want to take you to the next day then. So we're at July.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, Shady Lady, you have to come back. Oh my God, this testimony is just so good so far. I will see you though. I will see you. Okay, so we're at the next day right now. So what is this, July 14th? Oh boy. Listen, you know, I think Wendi was trying to set it up so she could throw anyone under the bus just in case that it never comes back to her. I think she was prepping to throw Jeff under the bus. I think she was prepping to throw Charlie in the bus. I think she was prepping to throw her mom under the bus. There's also a weird July 14th. So 4 days before Dan Markel is going to be murdered, Wendi decides to meet Jeff up for yoga. And it was really weird. He says that like after yoga, they didn't really speak to each other. The vibe was that it was over. And so he was just trying to ask her about the relationship. Like, hey, like, what's up? And Wendi said that she didn't want to spend time with Jeff or something like that. And then he walks away. However, he gets a really weird phone call from Wendi 15 minutes later and starts asking him a lot of details about his trip. And he's wondering why.
Parking lot of Journey's Yoga over by Winn-Dixie.
Okay, so you have your two respective vehicles there and
Yes.
you're parting ways.
Yes.
Okay, what happens as you walk away?
Get about 10, 15 feet away from her, and she calls after me. I turn around, and she had a series of detailed questions about what I would be doing on Friday. I had a trip to Tennessee planned, and she wanted to know if I was going on that trip, and she wanted to know what route I would be taking. And if I didn't go on the trip, why wouldn't I go on the trip? And I answered the questions as best I could, but I was confused why, at that moment, she wanted to know the details of what I was doing on Friday when she expressly didn't want.
And this is why in the police interview, when he came back, he thought that she was trying to set him up, that he would be happening to be leaving on that same Friday that Dan Markel would have been murdered. Oh boy. Don't tell a date your family will kill your ex-partner unless you're trying to set up your family, which I think Wendi was trying to do. Wendi was trying to set up the family, trying to make it seem like, okay, well, Jeff might have a reason. And then when she was talking to Jeff, she was trying to make it seem like, okay, well, the family had a reason. I mean, try to make it seem because it seemed like they had a reason, but it was like she was going on both sides and making sure that if law enforcement ever contacted her family or Jeff Lacoste or maybe even her friends, they would all point their fingers at other people and not Wendi. Whew. I hope Dan's family has the kids. It's a really sad story. They don't. They don't have the kids. They live in Canada. And after Dan Markel was murdered, the Adelson family blocked Dan Markel's parents from seeing the kids. It was so bad that they worked with Florida legislation to change the law. I think it was called like grandparents visitation law or something like that. That way they can have access to the grandchildren. But so I know there's been some visitation. I don't really know to the extent of it, but they don't have the kids. Wendi has the kids.
Want to spend time with me on Friday.
Okay.
I could, but I was confused why, at that moment, she wanted to know the details of what I was doing on Friday when she expressly didn't want to spend time with me on Friday.
Okay, and we now know that Dan Markel was murdered on Friday.
Yes.
right? If you had taken the trip as planned, which is as you reported to Wendi that day, what would your route have been?
I would have left my house at about 11 a.m., which Wendi knew. I'd related my plan to her earlier in the relationship. Needed to get to Atlanta for dinner and was worried about traffic and stuff like that. So I would have left at 11, and I would have driven down. I would have got to Capitol Circle in Thomasville, which is close enough to Danny's house that it kind of gave me the creeps. It was kind of weird. Yeah.
Okay, so physically, you're saying you might have been sort of consistent with where how the killers fled town.
Not only that, Wendi sends an email afterwards to Jeff, essentially saying that she wants to have no contact with him for a week. So she'll let him know on, I guess, July 21st to see what she wants to do with him.
She sends me this, which strings everything out for a week. So she's not breaking up. Functionally, that's realistically, I'm not dumb. I'm thinking we're over. But she's asking for another week, which brings it to the 21st of July. And I was puzzled. I wondered what in the world is going to happen July 21st. But I just didn't respond because she asked for no contact.
All right, so she wants to have no contact for a week.
Right.
Okay.
And I'm sure law enforcement looked into Jeff Lacoste and was like, oh, you had an ex-boyfriend that you broke up with recently? Okay, might be a suspect. We're calling him in.
I was able to find that photo I was looking for earlier.
And, there's some more weird things that he notices about Wendi. For example, days before Dan Markel was shot, maybe Wendi was already planning the move to Miami.
Sorry, July 13th.
July 13th, you noticed that the art had been taken down?
We walked into the kitchen, and then Wendi was pulling art off the wall. The only time I'd ever seen her do that.
Okay. And
Oh, like she was getting prepared to move? Sorry.
Objection. There you are.
all right, so I blurred the boys' faces, but this is how the residents at Aqua Ridge appeared.
Yes.
And the kids' art that's shown on the wall here, was that present during the time that you were dating Wendi Adelson?
Yes.
Was it something that art would come down, other art would go up, or was it pretty fixed?
It was maybe some art would get added, but I never saw any come down until July 14th. Wendi and I reestablished phone contact about 10 days after the murder. She called me, and then we had 3 or 4 phone calls. In one of them, she related that her and Charlie had gone to what Charlie called a celebration dinner, and at that dinner, Charlie said something to her. She didn't specify what it was, and she spontaneously vomited all over the table.
Are you aware, sir, that you were suggested as a potential suspect?
Yes.
Did you put together some facts about your travel plans that day that could have potentially made you a suspect on that trip as well if the murder had happened as
Yeah,
planned?
that Friday, I was scheduled to go to a business trip in Gainesville, leaving at 11 a.m. So 2 times in 2014, I leave town on a trip by myself in my car, and both times hitmen are in town trying to kill Danny Markel, unsuccessfully, obviously.
What?
I heard they rented a gray Altima initially. I had a 2004 Nissan Sentra. That freaked me out because that's about as close as you were going to get to my car on the rental market.
Ultima's like curvy car. Oh, there it is. Oh, now we're in cross-examination. And again, it doesn't make Wendi look great at all. But here's the thing. Donna's attorneys are not here to defend Wendi. They are here to defend Donna. And that means maybe throwing Wendi, Charlie, whoever else under the bus.
Now let's talk about the damage to the television that you observed in June of 2014.
What?
Can you tell us again how you describe that?
Yeah, there was a spider web pattern, like in the center of the screen. It radiates outwards. Anywhere it's been cracked, it will pixelate. So you can see what's going on. You can track it, but it's not pleasant, and you would never watch that TV. And we watched a whole movie on that TV at Wendy's insistence, which was why I remember this was a very strange evening.
Didn't you suggest going to watch the movie on another TV?
Yes, I did. There was a perfectly good TV in the other room. That's correct.
And she made a fuss.
I tried to respect Wendy's boundaries, her house, her kids, so she didn't have to make a fuss. It's an awkward situation dating someone who has 2 kids, so I'm not insisting on anything. But the kids were whining about the broken TV. That is correct, sir.
Made it difficult to even really watch or enjoy the movie.
Wendi really wanted to make sure that you knew that her TV was broken. Oh gosh. I wonder just how broken the TV was. Next witness is going to be June Umchinda, and she has testified in Charlie's trial before. When she was leaving, she was saying goodbye to Charlie and they were smiling at each other. So I guess they're on good terms, although I don't know if they're showing good terms now because Charlie's incarcerated and her testimony could have helped that. So she's going to testify and she's going to talk about how she was dating Charlie after Dan Markel was shot. So it was a couple girlfriends after Katie. And during this time, she was able to notice a very erratic change in Charlie's behavior. They were fine. They had a fairy tale relationship. And then when Catherine McBanwell, the hitman, and after the bump happened, Charlie's behavior changed a lot.
I had no idea who Dan Markel was. I've never seen the case in the media. I just know that when I asked Charlie about his family, he advised me that his brother-in-law was murdered and shot in the head in the garage, and they don't know who did it. So that's all I knew. It was pretty short.
Was that a topic that came up one time or more than one time?
It was one time when I asked him about his family in the beginning when we were dating, getting to know each other. And then obviously throughout our relationship, it became a bigger topic.
Did you previously say, did you have a law enforcement interview in this case?
I did. I did not know I was being recorded, but yes.
It was recorded.
I
okay.
was, yes.
You had a chance to review it?
Many times, yes.
And in that interview,
Always assume that you're being recorded.
did you say for court and counsel, page 50, lines 19 through 23, quote, like they weren't ever curious, like who really killed him. They weren't upset about it, it seemed like. Did you say that?
If it's there, yes, because when I saw it, I was thinking to myself, that's strange, the staples, and then it clicked. So it was after I saw.
After you saw the article or the TV broadcast, you then observed it.
After I found out.
And that's when
yes.
it clicked.
Yes.
Okay. And the stapled money that you saw was $100 bills stapled into $1,000 bundles, is that right?
Yes.
And there was quite a few of them that you saw, right?
Right.
Between what we now know was the bump and when all of this came to light, did you notice Charlie beginning to communicate more with Catherine McBanwell?
I believe I saw like a message from her, or they were on the phone once or something like that. I asked him about it.
Okay, did you previously in your law enforcement interview indicate that you saw him going back and forth with Katie on the calls, like, and I said, oh, why do you guys talk so much? You remember that?
I do. So I was referring to the episode where it shows him and Katie going back and forth on the calls. And then I told Charlie and said, you've never talked to me like that. So I was wondering why he talked so much to her
Isn't
at
it
that
true
time.
that you noticed him talking to her at odd hours prior to the media broadcast?
No, that was all in regards to the episode that I saw, that they showed him talking to her at odd hours.
You don't remember telling law enforcement that it was weird because he didn't wake up early and you saw that there was on the phone the times that they were talking and it was like 7 or 8 and you thought, oh, that's odd.
No, I did say that, but that was in the episode. I told Charlie that I thought it was odd because we don't talk that way, and he said we live together, so.
Okay.
What is this broadcast?
Have you described him as being paranoid during this time frame?
Yes.
Okay. And did he talk to you during this time frame about believing his phone was being tapped?
Yes, a lot.
Did you ever know Catherine McBanwell working for Charlie Adelson or the Adelson Institute?
No.
Oh, no.
All right. And then when you mentioned you were still with him at the time that McBanwell was arrested, did his erratic behaviors get better or worse at the time of her arrest?
It was worse.
Okay. And can you describe those behaviors for the jury?
Well, it was a lot mixed with what I said earlier, the no sleeping, depression, and our whole relationship just took a big turn, and I wasn't sure why. In the beginning, he was just acting strange and would go to his friend's house, and our routine kind of got disrupted, and I wasn't sure why. So it was just like I knew something was going on, but I didn't know exactly what the problem was. So
All right. Did he become angry, short-fused?
at certain times, he would.
Okay. And I'm particularly talking about this time frame around Katie's arrest and just after that. Uh-oh, tricked here. Around the time right after Katie's arrest, is that the
Good. I'm glad that Charlie was suffering, but I do feel bad that Charlie's behavior had to affect her and she had like nothing to do with this.
time frame where these behaviors escalated?
Right, yes.
And did, particularly when the case or the investigation came up, is that something that would make him angry?
Not really angry. He had different emotions every time it would come up, so.
And was one of those emotions anger?
At some point, sometimes, yes.
And did you say he would get really red and screaming and take random walks, just acting like a crazy person?
He would at times, yes.
What about Wendi Adelson? Did you notice an issue between Charlie Adelson and Wendi Adelson during this time frame?
I wasn't too involved with them, but I did notice one time they got into an argument.
All right, and did he tell you it was a fight about this case?
He just said that it was something about the case, yes.
Was there a time when you were on the balcony of Donna Adelson's residence and she made a statement to you about Dan Markel?
We were speaking about Dan because the case was such a big thing at that time, yes.
Okay, and what was the statement she made?
Well, her life was crumbling down in her family's life, so she said everything felt like Dan was haunting her from the grave or them. I don't know. Whatever it says there.
She feels like Dan's back from the grave, like haunting her or something.
In reference to that, yes. I don't, yeah.
No further questions.
Judge, may I ask one more question on the breast system?
Go ahead.
Did Charlie Adelson make a statement to you about Catherine Magdanoa's breast augmentation?
After the 2020 episode, he made a statement and joked about it, yes.
What did he say?
Oh, that's what she meant by 2020. Okay, sorry. I'm a dummy. Earlier she said 2020, and I thought she was referencing the year. And I was like, oh, well, they had been broken up for quite some time. They talked together. They were talking again in 2020, I guess. She means a 2020 Dateline episode. Okay, I need to watch this 2020 Dateline episode. Whew, when did this come out?
He made a statement and joked about it, yes.
What did he say?
He was saying they were thinking that he paid for the whole thing, and then he said, he said he paid for one or something and laughed.
Only paid for one of the breasts. Half of the work.
Right, but he was laughing, so it was just a joke.
Okay.
Dude. Wait, she didn't even get a set of them? So she was getting $22,000 a month from the dental practice. Okay. But she got Harvey's old ass, like 10-year-old car. And not only that, the boob job that we thought that Charlie paid for, maybe Charlie only paid for one boob and not for two. So one of my chats said maybe Harvey and Donna paid for the other boob. That's a possibility. Next person who's going to testify is going to be Ryan Fitzpatrick. Something happened between him and Charlie. They definitely had a falling out because this man, when he was testifying, man, he just dropped it all. Yeah, Charlie hated Dan. Charlie was acting weird. Charlie gave me stapled money. So this is Ryan Fitzpatrick's testimony. And apparently he did testify not last year, but back in 2023 for Charlie Adelson's trial. I wonder what the falling out was. If anyone knows, let me know stop by the live stream and let me know. Or put in the comments.
How did they feel about Dan Markell, if you know?
I'm going to check. They haven't laid a foundation as to which person. They doesn't describe anything related to my client.
I'll re-ask the question. How did Donna Adelson feel about Dan Markell?
Oh, he did? He testified against Charlie? Oh, man.
Didn't like Dan. Staple money, 10-100 equals 1,000. I've been paid by staple money by Charlie Adelson before. That's how I know.
Okay. Are you familiar with the law enforcement operation that's been referenced as the BOMB?
What? This is a Florida accent? I don't think so. No? Is it more like Midwest? I don't know.
Where Donna Adelson was approached on the street?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay. And did Charlie Adelson talk to you about the bump? His mom being
yes,
approached?
ma'am.
Okay. And prior to that, had Charlie Adelson ever mentioned being harassed or extorted or anything like that?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Oh,
so
boy.
when this happened with his mother, did his demeanor change? How was he acting about this incident?
Charlie became agitated, nervous, anxiety. I guess looking back now, guilty. Just abnormal.
Okay. Did he ever make a statement to you about murder?
He made the statement at one time that you could get away with anything.
Damn, did they have a falling out or something like that? What happened here? What happened? Honestly, because again, the people that are testifying about Charlie and Donna, Donna's team or the state, they're not going to try to make any of those people look good because Donna's the one who is the defendant here. So it's not like Donna's team's going to come back and try to cure, Charlie's reputation by making him look better. Oh my God, they're just going to let Charlie go down the drains. He said, agitated, nervous, guilty, I guess, looking back at it.
Keep your mouth shut. And
To you about murder?
he made the statement at one time that you could get away with anything if you keep your mouth shut. And implied murder.
All right. After the arrests that occurred in this case, and I'm referencing the 3 suspects that were arrested prior to him, did that impact his behavior or demeanor around you?
When the others were arrested?
When the other arrests occurred?
Yes,
yeah.
ma'am. That behavior continued to increase.
Okay, so he was anxious, would you say?
More needy. Charlie talked a lot, and
In
talked a lot
general?
about it. Yes, ma'am.
And he talked a lot about what? Those arrests?
Charlie would talk about something repeatedly, almost to help himself believe something, or to talk to you till he was blue in the face until you were almost so tired of hearing it that you're like, oh, okay, and you believed it. But
Okay.
it was nauseating. It's tiring.
He was a talker.
Yes, ma'am.
Cross-examination with Jackie Fulford.
You indicated that you barely know Donna Adelson, correct?
I didn't know her like I knew Charlie. No, ma'am.
And you've been around her many times.
Yes, ma'am.
And she was always nice to you.
Very nice.
She and Harvey were pleasant to be around.
Very pleasant.
You knew Charlie very well, as you've testified.
Yes, ma'am.
And you were friends,
Yes,
correct?
ma'am.
But that ended, didn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
And it was an ugly ending.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. But the bottom line is you have a feeling and that you say that it's known that the Adelsons didn't like Dan Markel, but you couldn't give us a specific comment in your deposition that Donna Adelson ever made. It's just well known, correct?
It was implied, yes, ma'am.
Thank you. No further questions.
The judge again was not happy with the defense.
As the violation, or as these matters would not be constitutional in nature, why should they be heard now if they were not previously raised the deadline that was given in the prior scheduling orders?
Ooh, spicy. The judge had this issue on day 1 too. He was like, why was this not dealt with in pretrial stuff? Why are we dealing with it right now? Why are we wasting the jurors' time? Uh-oh. Is the defense, are they whispering amongst each other?
The only explanation I have for not having raised this previously is the amount of information that we provided beginning in April.
And several continuances were granted to accommodate you on that basis.
There was one trial continuance, yes, Your Honor.
And multiple, I believe, deadlines were extended as well,
That's
at
right.
least 3 or 4 times.
Yes, Your Honor.
On that basis, why was this not raised?
Just didn't have time, Your Honor.
Right. What are you raising for the record?
That is not a good answer. Oh man, he said the deadlines were extended multiple times, they met multiple times, and Mr. Zellman's just like, you know what? We just didn't have time. Sorry, Judge. Oh gosh. Hey, just gotta tell the truth.
I don't know how this applies to the new one. It's one of the reasons why I forwarded it immediately to my expert to see how it has changed. I don't know how the pagination has changed. So if we could have some time to review that, it might resolve some of what I'm objecting to. Some of the objections had to do with hearsay. I understand the court's ruling concerning allowing the state to prove up the co-conspirator exception as we move through the trial, so that would probably apply to the vast majority of what the objections were. But if I could have a few moments to review this, please.
Ms. Dugan, as you stated, you may have a few moments. As you stated before, we're not talking about new information. This is just being packaged in a different way.
Correct, and all the communication that defense let me know that he is objecting to, which is essentially all the text message communication, all of that remains the same and has remained the same not only in what we sent him in May before the deadline, but I believe it was all the same as well in the presentation that was provided to Ms. Adelson's previous attorneys before that trial.
Very well. Deputy Phillips, if you can inform the jurors that we'll get started in about 10 minutes. And I'll give you this opportunity, Mr. Zellman, to look at the document. But again, on these issues of exhibits specifically, there was the pretrial scheduling order. Also, last Friday, I provided each party the opportunity to go through these items if they were still disputed. Neither side took me up on it. At this point, we're not going to be wasting time on exhibits that could have been objected to and ruled upon. Take your 10 minutes now.
Damn. Witness number 14 is Mary Hull, and she is a financial investigator, or she was. I think she has a different role right now. She's going to go into the accounts of the hitman, Catherine McBenoit, and look at how much money they had before Dan Markel was murdered, how much money they had afterwards, how much they were spending, and then what they purchased.
He purchased a 2003 Suzuki motorcycle on July 28th, 2014, and a 1996 Toyota Camry. So he had a lot of overdraft charges.
And how did that change after the murder of Dan Markel?
Right after the murder, he all of a sudden left the money in the account, and then nothing overdrafted for about 4 months.
4 months. That was what Rivera purchased. Oh my God, 21 overdraft fees. Eek! Sigfredo, on the other hand, this is what he got. He got 3 cars, I think within 3 months after the murder happened. Whatever happened to laying low? Did anyone not watch the movie Casino, or was it Goodfellas? That one scene where Joe Pesci yells at his underling for treating his wife for buying a fur coat. And you know what happened after that? Didn't they end up whacking the guy?
Yes, he purchased a 1997 Honda Racer on July 26, 2014, a 1984 Monte Carlo on August 22nd, 2014, and a Nissan Maxima on October 17th, 2014.
Why?
Okay, so we didn't find a picture of the Maxima, but that's kind of how a Maxima of that style would look here.
Yes, it was a city.
After the murder, not only did Catherine McBenoit did Katie get a lump sum payment, but Charlie was continuing to give her some financial assistance afterwards, including helping her out with her car payments, her car getting fixed, and ended up giving her a I would say new car, but it wasn't a new car. It was an old ass car. I think it was like a 10-year-old car that Harvey had. And then not only that, helping her buy plane tickets so she can treat her mom for vacation. Katie writes, hey, I need a credit card auth form sent to you. A credit card authorization form sent to you. Are you at an office now so they can send it? I'm going in the morning to pick up the car. Call me. Hey, it's going to be too much of a mission. I'm just going to try to put it on my credit card tomorrow morning because I doubt you're nowhere near an office right now, and then help me pay for my card, please. Charlie, call me ASAP. I will only pay for it if you let me put it on my credit card. I'm at the office. Send it now. Call me ASAP. If you pay for it on your credit card, you're on your own. Sorry. Where is the amount? What is the amount? Catherine writes, don't put anything yet on just put on the authorization that I'll put them out and when I get there tomorrow. Jesus. Katie ran out of money, huh?
I found the payment to Mazda for the $1,620.77.
At the end
Wouldn't it have been better just to give her cash and do it, just so he's not continually tied to her, even though they're not together anymore?
of 2015, after all these repairs and Charlie Adelson offering to help her financially with these repairs, at the end of 2015, does it appear that Catherine McBanois got a different car?
She did. This is showing that the title transfer between Harvey and Catherine.
And what date did this take place?
Yes, January 23rd, 2016.
2001 Lexus?
Black four-door, that's correct.
And the previous owner is listed as Harvey Jerome Adelson?
Yes.
Harvey's in the courtroom.
How much did this DHSMV title indicate that it was sold to McBanois for?
$1,700.
And that's there on the right side of the screen?
Yes.
I guess Harvey's not scared. They're going to come after him and arrest him next, right? After Donna's trial. He's just sitting there chilling.
Were you able to find any record of payment from Catherine McBanois to any of the Adelsons for this vehicle?
No.
Here in Charlie Adelson's Amex records.
So this is a purchase of airline tickets for Catherine McBanois on March 6, 2015 for a flight to Santo Domingo, and that was $970.74.
Okay, other than these $970 worth of airline tickets to Santo Domingo, were there other evidence of financial assistance or gifts?
Yes, there was.
At least you and your kids are healthy. Oh no, Charlie writes that. And I always have your back. She writes back, thanks, hon. Don't you got to hook up with plane tickets? I want to leave for Thanksgiving. I want to take my mom too. It's her 60th birthday on November 9th. I have that guy, but I know what he wants. Cat face. Oh gosh. He writes back, I don't have any hookups. My name's Charlie, not Jerry. Winky face. I think he writes, I got jokes on a Monday. She writes, I want to do something nice for my mommy. Let me see if she has days off on Thanksgiving. He writes, the holidays are a shit show to travel. Agree. She writes back, by the way, she's having a major surgery for her spine in January. She has to be out for 6 months. I know, but I don't want to be here I don't want to be here. I want to be with my family. I'll rent an RV, drive cross country. Man, she must really regret doing this because life imprisonment is what she got? Pfft. Won't be around her family, won't be around her kids, man. He writes back, do you want me to get you a cruise for you and your mom? ? She writes back, I was thinking about a cruise too. He writes back, perfect. They have really nice ones that you guys can leave on a whatever. Hey, by the way, I have a shite load of things to pay for. I need a little help because of the kids' tuition and crap for summer, and I had to stop my weekend job. I hate asking. He writes back, I will lend you whatever you need.
These are some of the bigger items, but was there also, he would give her teeth whitening, he would give her, pay for meal plans for her, offer her rides in fancy cars, or her ability to lend or borrow fancy cars from him throughout these years?
Yes, he had a lot of supportive activity of her.
Here's Katie's boob job that I guess Charlie paid for. Well, he only paid for one boob, I guess.
%.
Are there corresponding withdrawals of cash?
Are you telling me that he didn't pay for the full amount?
Cash from any of Catherine McBanois' accounts to
No.
reach $4,400?
No.
Or even $4,000?
No.
Around that time or before that time?
No. Employment time frame, and then the murder.
It's kind of wild that she didn't have any money and she kept borrowing money from Charlie for, I don't know, vacation money for her mom, tuition and stuff like that. But then she also had priorities in getting like a boob job. Kind of interesting.
Murder and the bump also showed on this time frame.
Oh, snaps.
When was her last check from Sophie Dental Care? the place, the dental company she was working at before the murder?
The first part of July 2014.
Okay, and then she didn't have any more checks or didn't receive any more checks from them after that point?
That's correct.
Is there any record of her being employed anywhere at the time of the murder?
No.
Now, I wonder if Katie McBanois, if she quit her job because she knew she was getting a large amount of money in from the Adelson family for executing this murder with her baby daddy. I wonder if she quit her regular paying job and then she had this fake job where she was getting paychecks from from the Adelson Family Dental Institute. It's kind of interesting how right when the bump happened, again, the undercover operation happens, that's when the Adelsons decide to stop paying Katie. Coincidence? Well, do you know who they're going to get to testify about whether or not Katie worked at the dental office? An employee who worked there.
How do you know Catherine McBanois?
I know her from the office. She was a patient there.
So she actually came and got dental work done there?
Yes.
Okay. Was she like a regular or just came in once or twice?
Once.
So you're telling me Katie wasn't working there? Shocking.
Once or twice.
Did you ever see her at Adelson Institute doing anything other than being a patient one time or two times? Okay. Did you ever see her working at the Adelson Institute in any capacity?
No.
Did she ever speak badly about Dan Markel?
No.
Old style answer
Isn't it
machine.
true that you would call the Adelson family, Donna and Harvey, a hardworking family?
Yes.
The judge is going to again admonish Wendi Adelson, not Wendi, I keep getting mixed up now, Donna Adelson, damn it, Donna Adelson, and tell her that she can't be reacting while she's in the courtroom while people are testifying. I thought it would be more bigger gestures, but I guess, damn, even head shaking.
Preemptively, before this comes up during the testimony, Mrs. Adelson, I'm going to remind you again not to have any emotional reactions while the testimony is going on. No head shaking, no nodding, nothing to indicate that you either disagree or agree with what's happening. Do you understand?
Damn, no head shaking either. Here comes Katie. Katie was Charlie's girlfriend at the time. Katie's the one who connected Charlie with her hitman, again, her baby daddy, and their best friend. Oh gosh, Katie, you are such a mess. The jury will find out a lot from Katie.
Are you in custody?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you serving a sentence?
Yes, ma'am.
For what?
Life.
Life for what? Crime?
For the murder of Dan Markel.
And did you have a trial
Yes, make her say it.
before you received that sentence?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and in that trial, did you testify in your own defense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and in that testimony...
Oh, it's funny. Georgia said trial, and I thought she said child, too. Okay, trial and child do sound very similar. You guys are right.
Did you testify that essentially we had it right about everyone else, but you were in the dark, you weren't involved in any way?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And was that true?
No, ma'am.
All right, and you didn't have to testify in your own defense. You could have chosen to remain silent, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you testified also in the trial in which Garcia was convicted, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And same thing there. You testified you did not tell the truth.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And why then come now with a different story?
I think that the truth needed to come out, and the people responsible needed to get arrested.
Okay. Are you hoping to get something out of this?
I would eventually like to see my children again one day.
And are you hoping that something can be done for you even after being sentenced?
Yes, ma'am. I'm hoping so.
Okay. Have you been promised anything
No,
in
ma'am,
exchange for your testimony?
No, ma'am, I have not.
Okay. By me or by anyone?
Wow. So that explains it. We were wondering earlier if she was offered anything on the table in exchange for testimony and cooperating with the state. But so far, nothing yet.
Okay. By me or by anyone?
No, ma'am. Nobody.
Okay. Weren't you originally offered immunity in this case to come forward with the truth?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
Why did you not take that opportunity?
Well, in the first trial, I was tried with Secretary Garcia, and he was facing the death penalty, and I just couldn't do it.
Okay, because the truth would implicate your child's father.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What about the second time?
I've been living a lie this whole time, and it was just so hard to come out with the truth that I kept fighting.
She thought Charlie's influence, his money, was going to be able to bail her out of all of this, hiring the best attorneys. I don't know if Charlie even paid for her attorneys.
Who solicited you to become involved in this?
Charlie.
Who was he to you at that time?
We were dating at that time.
When did you start dating Charlie Adelson?
We started dating around 2013.
When did Charlie Adelson first bring this idea up to you that I'm looking for someone to harm my brother-in-law?
This was around October. What stuck out in my head was on Halloween on October 31st.
Okay. And what year was that?
That was 2013.
Okay. And so on Halloween, what is your memory of what y'all were doing that night that you're able to remember that happened that night?
Well, we were out in Lincoln Road. It was like a kind of like a block party in Lincoln Road. And then when we were getting ready to get into our cars, he jumped into my car, and he basically suggested that do I know anybody that can harm someone?
Okay. And were those the words he used, harm?
Yes, ma'am.
And during these conversations with Charlie Adelson, was there ever a time when he's in the middle of these conversations with you about what's going to happen, speaking to his mother?
Sometimes he would get on the phone, he'd kind of look at me weird, and then just step out of the room and discuss whatever he needed to discuss.
Given information about what was discussed outside of presence.
Overruled. She's talking about what took place, not the substance of the conversation, so you may continue.
All right, so he would step out, have a conversation with his mother, and then come back.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then you would resume the conversation about
he would just kind of go off again, saying that this needed to be taken care of and what his family was going through.
All right. How many times did this particular situation happen where you were discussing what would eventually become the murder and his mother was interjected in that way that you just described?
How many times did I think he stepped out and speak to him? A number of times.
More than twice?
Yes, ma'am.
More than 5 times?
Yes, ma'am.
So this was like a regular part of the way this worked whenever this conversation came up?
Yes,
he would
ma'am.
consult his mother and come back and speak to you. Were you getting any pressure put on you to get the job done?
Yes, ma'am, from Charlie.
And did that increase over time, like and I specifically want to know about between the June trip and the ultimate murder trip?
Yes, ma'am. He was a little bit more adamant and persistent. Well, Katie, why hasn't anything been happening?
And George is going to ask her about the checks that she was receiving from the dental institute. Sorry, the Adel Institution. No, it should be called the Adel Institution, actually. The Adelson Institute.
You had broken up before you received the first check, right?
That I already, I wasn't talking to Charlie as much anymore? Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, September, after the murder.
Yes, ma'am.
George is also going to ask her about the money that she was paid with.
The money itself was damp to the touch.
Yes, ma'am.
Did it smell?
Right. And did you ever mention that back to Charlie Adelson?
I'm pretty sure I contacted him and told him, why is the money wet?
What do you mean pretty sure? You did or you didn't?
That I didn't.
Okay. And when you contacted him and said the money's wet, or you just mentioned to him the money's wet, did he have a response?
Yes, ma'am. He told me that his mom washed the money.
That she physically washed the money?
Yes, ma'am.
And now we're fast forwarding to 2016, where everyone's happy in their lives. They thought they got away with it. Law enforcement wiretapped Charlie's phone and Katie's phone. Now, because at this point, they probably weren't talking about Dan Markel's murder, they had to generate the bump in order to get them to start talking about everything. That's what they did. They went up to Donna, undercover agent, and handed Donna this flyer with Dan Markel's, an article with Dan Markel on it and a phone number for Donna to contact so she can pay $5,000. And this is when Donna reaches out to Charlie and Charlie reaches out to Katie.
He turned up the volume in his car and kind of just leaned towards me and was just telling me that, that his mom got approached.
Okay. And did you continue to hear more from him about his mom being approached once you entered the restaurant?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and at the time you did not know that law enforcement was intercepting those conversations, did you?
No, ma'am, I did not.
I think initially the conversations were really, really hard to hear. And it wasn't until later on the feds got involved and they were able to clarify the audio. And that's when they finally really went after Charlie and charged him. If I remember correctly.
So he's enlisting you to go do something. What is it you're supposed to do?
To contact the phone number?
Phone number on the piece of paper that was handed to his mother.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And figure out who it is and resolve it.
What's going on? He didn't know if it was somebody trying to extort him or try to blackmail him, or he didn't know if it was the FBI.
Okay, and he's saying one of two scenarios. One of two scenarios. Are those the two scenarios?
Yes, ma'am.
It's either the FBI or it is actually someone who's gotten some information about what we did.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you speak in code on that wire?
On the wiretaps, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Property and tenant, that was code for looking into who was behind the bump, right?
Yes, ma'am. Well, Charlie tends to go on his little rants, and then I kind of just followed, what he was saying.
Yes, but you spoke in code.
Yes, ma'am.
And you understood you were speaking in code because you might be tapped, right?
Yes,
Somebody
ma'am.
might be listening.
Yes, ma'am.
But there would be no reason to speak in code if you hadn't done anything wrong. Will you agree with that?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, in cross-examination by Jackie, I don't know if Katie is just lying on the stand. It sounds like she is, but the stuff that she's lying about, it's like, girl, you already got in trouble for it. So I don't know why you're trying to lie about it now. Maybe it makes it seem like you're less involved and it's not as bad. However, there's evidence that's contrary to that. Anyways, she talks about how she didn't know that Sigfredo was going to actually be the one that does it, I guess, and that she didn't know Rivera was going to be involved. But again, she was in communications with Sigfredo, and I'm sure while they're driving up 6 to 8 hours, she probably realized that Sigfredo was with Rivera, talking about the logistics, who was going to drive the car, who was going to shoot Dan Markel. There's also Katie claiming that she didn't know how much they were going to get paid. So you never ask how much money you're going to get for this huge operation of having someone murdered. And then there's also the thing where she said that she never counted her portion of the cash. What?
Then a day or two later, he comes back to you and gives you, I guess, what is going to be your share, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And at this point, you still don't know Luis Rivera's involved?
At that point, no, ma'am.
You still didn't know?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So you said that Mr. Garcia puts the money into your closet?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And a few days later, you actually go into the closet?
I don't know if it was the same day that, that he put the money there, but a couple of days later when I had opened the bag, that's when I felt the moisture of the money.
So you didn't touch the money the first day?
I don't believe that. I felt like the moment the money came into your closet, you probably went there ASAP. That's a lot of money that's sitting there.
I don't recall if I did or if I didn't.
So you may...
But I don't know how it would help her or hurt her either way. So I would just have to assume that maybe she just doesn't know genuinely.
How much money did you get?
I never counted how much money was even in the bag.
As you sit here today, you're telling this jury you never know what your cut was. You can't tell them.
No, ma'am. I never counted it.
What? Okay, I don't believe any of this shit now. Not only is she saying that she never asked how much they were going to get paid, that the money was sitting in her closet and she possibly went to go check on the money days later. And then also saying that she never counted the cash that she got. What? She just took it and she was like, okay, cool, I have cash. What the fuck, dude? Oh, man. No wonder she was always asking to borrow money. I guess she was just really bad with money stuff. I don't know. That's just so weird.
Spent some of it, didn't you?
I believe so. Yes.
And you deposited some of it into your bank account?
Yes, ma'am.
But you don't know how much yours was?
No, ma'am.
Besides the one time you had that dental appointment and you saw Mrs. Adelson, you met her, Donna Adelson.
Yes, ma'am.
After that, you never talked to her again, did you?
Not that I can recall. I don't think I've
You didn't speak on the phone to each other?
No, ma'am.
You didn't text each other?
No, ma'am.
You didn't email each other?
No, ma'am.
You didn't have any other communication of any kind?
No, ma'am.
You didn't meet with her in person?
There's only a time that I saw her, but I didn't meet with her.
Right, exactly. And when you're having these discussions with Charlie Adelson, I'm talking about you and your knowledge. When you're having these discussions with Charlie and then having discussions with Sigfredo, she's not involved in those conversations with you, is she?
No, ma'am, she's not.
Our next witness is going to be witness number 17, Sergeant Christopher Corbett. He's actually going to be on the stand for a very long time. Poor guy. But anyways, he's had 29 years of experience on being in Tallahassee Police Department. He's a cell phone guy. And he's going to go through the emails, again, reminding the jury of the unhinged emails that Donna wrote. He's going to go through the call detail records of the hitman. And then now he's going to go over the text message between Charlie and Donna. Around this time, this is when the relocation was denied. And it seems like the Adelsons really needed to come up with a plan to help Wendi out, because Wendi seems like she gave up. She was about to buy a house in Tallahassee. They talk her out of it. And you guys remember what happens on October 31st? Well, look at the timeline. So we're before October 31st. Halloween is when Katie, she testified earlier, Katie said on Halloween was when Charlie got in her car and basically asked if she knew anyone that could harm someone. The timeline is lining up.
House with only one of the children, and Charlie responds, I bet, let's talk this week.
Okay, so she doesn't go into any more detail here, but she's describing how stressed Wendi is, and that's causing Dad a lot of stress, and it's just awful for her too.
That's correct.
And this would have been at that same time, or around the same time as the last email, about 2 weeks before Halloween.
Correct.
All right, so let's go to October 30th of 2013, so the day before Halloween of 2013. Here is does Donna Adelson say that she just got a text from Wendi, casually mentioning, I guess she wants to do it before a certain date when she goes to England. And what does Charlie Adelson say?
That she had never told me. She never told me, meaning Wendi had not told her.
How does the conversation go after that? Is Charlie for this or against this?
Against it. He's asking Donna Adelson why Wendi would do it, and ask, of course, if Mr. Markell has given permission, all of those things.
Okay, and what's next? Is he afraid that Dan Markell will hold this against Wendi Adelson? Like, basically, like, well, now you've purchased a home here.
He would, yes.
And use it as leverage.
Correct.
What's next? And he says he'll try her again, but basically Wendi never gets back to him, basically.
Correct.
All right, what's next?
So we see, again, this is October 30th. We're on slide 72 now, that Charlie Adelson sends a message to Wendi stating that he would call her in 10 minutes.
Okay, what's next?
He, again, later responds that he must talk to her, to please call him, and she responds that she's in court, she can call after 4.
Going through the text, does it seem like eventually they talk?
Yes.
Okay. Can you... Okay, so they're still setting up a time to talk, everything's okay. What's next? Does he then report back to Donna Adelson?
Yes. So we're on slide 75 here, October 31st. Charlie is speaking to Donna, texting with Donna, stating that he had spoke to Wendi, and it thinks that he had made some headway, and hopes are having a good time on vacation in Israel.
Okay, so the phone call between Wendi and Charlie would have happened before this message to Mom, or to Donna Adelson.
That's correct.
Okay, and how does she respond? Oh, I'm sorry. So then does Charlie check back in with Wendi?
He does, yes.
Okay, and
What did you leave again, Shaniqua? We got to hear from Katie McBenoit, got to hear from June, and then now this guy's going through all the cell phone, the text messages, and then reminding the jury of the horrible emails that Donna was writing.
tell us about that conversation.
He asks how she's feeling and gives her some general advice and tells her that he loves her.
And does that advice involve renting things as opposed to buying them?
That's correct.
Okay, and says, I love you.
He does.
What's next? Does Donna then check back in with Charlie?
Yes. So this is slide 78, again, still October 31st, and Donna Adelson is communicating with Charlie Adelson.
And what does Charlie say next? Spoke to Wendi for 20 minutes last night. She texted me today that she pulled the plug on the house. Smiley face with a lot of smiles.
Yes.
And that's at Halloween on 5:19 p.m.?
Yes.
All right, and how does Donna Adelson respond to this news?
She says, wow, Charlie, thank you again. How did you accomplish that? You are a miracle worker. Tell us.
Okay.
Again, this is November 1st of 2013, and he continues the conversation.
All right. What happened next? Or what's our next text message? Do we have one from February of 2014?
Yes.
Okay. Here does Donna say that Wendi is totally stressed out. Yesterday was a rough one. She'll probably have to go through another depot. Outrageous. Her attorney is abusing the system. I'm sorry. Her attorney will claim he is abusing the system by filing all these motions. And a $500,000 bank account is the same $50K tried to get his hands on. And Charlie responds, crazy.
Yes. The slide 85, we're on February 15th. That yesterday he sent Wendi a text that he saw her leaving the school in our car at 2:07 p.m. He is stalking her.
Okay, and how does Charlie respond to that? Oh, sorry. And then does Donna talk about wanting to get a protective order?
Yes.
That's very hard to do if there's no threats or abuse.
Correct.
But a judge should know that she's being stalked.
Correct.
And Charlie says, I agree.
Yes.
And they're continuing to complain about the system, the judge that's assigned to the case, and Charlie says that complaining about the amount that Wendy's attorney is costing.
Correct.
And Donna's agrees.
Yes.
Okay, what's next? He wonders if she's mad at her attorney. How does Donna respond? Donna says she's too stressed. Let's keep her conversations with her light. Let's not add to what she's dealing with. Let's just get through Monday. Nothing stressful. And she gives some more detail about what happened in court.
Yes. Slide 95, still on February 17th, that the judge was really pissed at him for not paying Wendi, and continues.
Okay. And it looks like Wendy's still going to have to be deposed, but with strict limitations to questions.
Correct.
And she wants Danny to get psychological testing.
Correct.
I won't make you read this whole email. I'm getting tired too. But basically in this email is Donna complaining about Dan Markel.
I'll read it. If you speak to Wendi today, tread lightly. Don't ask questions about the depot, her lawyer, etc. Tough time and she's really stressed out. The asshole showed up at a soccer yesterday, and when she tried to leave with the boys, he said, no, stay here and play with Abba. She to the boys that Abba had to leave, and he said, no, I don't. Of course, she woke up to another email from him telling her that she's lying to the boys about their father's whereabouts and that this will be brought before the court. Such a fucker. It was Wendy's day. He's allowed to attend the children's activity, but that's where it ends.
This is now March 4th of 2014. We're on slide 98.
Okay, thank you. So on this day, so on March 4th of 2014, was there a text message in the records where Donna Adelson asked Charlie Adelson to erase a text that she sent to him?
There is, yes.
Okay, can you walk us through that exchange?
So again, this is March 4th. She is communicating with Charlie. She indicates 37 miles to Gainesville.
As in coming from Tallahassee going to Gainesville?
That would be correct, yes.
Okay. And what does she say here?
She says, I can't talk now, but I'll text you before we stop in Gainesville where I can go to the bathroom and have a moment of privacy. Then I'll call. Please pick up because I will have limited alone time today. Erase this text after you read it. She says, we'll stop in about 5 minutes and I can speak to you privately about Dad's birthday gift when I'm out of the car. I have some good ideas.
What was the time difference between those two texts?
This text was at 10:42 a.m. and this is at 11:08 a.m.
Oh, this is all tied to the birthday gift. They had Rob Adelson testified yesterday where for some reason this year they didn't buy Dad a birthday gift. Mom said that she just wanted everyone to be there. Usually she's the one who coordinates everything and gets everyone to pitch in. But was a birthday gift just having Dan Markel murdered and having Wendi and the boys move back down to the Miami area?
Okay. So 20 minutes before.
I wasn't sure if they were ever going to tie the Harvey birthday thing. Jesus.
Or she's texting saying, we'll have a private conversation and erase this after you read it. Then she sends a text 20 minutes later saying, I can speak to you privately, and says what it's about, Dad's birthday gift.
Correct.
Does she tell him to delete that text where she said the subject of the private conversation?
There's no request to delete that text.
So Sergeant Corbett's testimony is going to continue on to the next day. And again, more digital evidence tying Donna into everything else with the family members, with hiring Katie and the hitman in order to get Dan Markel murdered. So she gets what she wants, which is Wendi and the children to move down from Tallahassee to South Florida. If you guys have not seen recap of day 1, day 2, there's actually 2 parts of that one. Feel free to go check it out. If you guys don't have time to watch these, they're actually 8.5-hour streams. Oh my goodness, they're long. These long court streams. I do my best to recap it for you guys. But other than that, stop by the live streams. Come say hi, come chat with us briefly and let me know what you guys think about this case, because a lot of us already know the ins and out about this case. I'm also interested in hearing from other people who have no idea about this and they're completely coming to the trial blind. I want to know what you guys think about the evidence so far against Donna. Do you think Wendy's involved? yeah, just your thoughts so far. Genuinely curious. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Feel free to join the Discord. I have a second YouTube channel. Feel free to check it out where I moved my vlogs on there. And other than that, I'm going to go work on the other video. Tired.